All right, dude, what'd you send me?
In my country, without going into significant detail, half the people in the country are happy, and half the people in the country are very unhappy. It's a very difficult time in the United States, and I think the only way people can learn what is happening, and film is unique in this way, not only what's happening in the United States, but around the world. What's happening, you might not learn from the news. Television news in the United States is a business. They have to make money. And again, not to go into great detail about that, but there's a hole, there's a vacuum. There is a gap, if you will, in information for Americans. Americans are very uninformed about reality, what's really going on. With climate change, Ukraine, Israel, you name it, all the biggest topics in the world, Americans have an appetite for a little bit of information. That vacuum is filled by the film industry, not just the independent film industry, not just the documentary film industry, which are very important around the world, but by narrative films as well, where the filmmakers and the buyers, the studios and the networks and the streamers are willing to go that way, and they're willing to try to make films that are not only entertaining, but informative as well. So I think right now is probably one of the most significant times in our history, since film began, since the film experience began. It became an art form, it became a business, a huge business. Now is probably one of the most important times in our history for us to make films that will teach people about what reality is around the world.
How does someone living in the 1% lecture people that he has no freaking clue how their lives are, how inflation impacts them? Like, dude, he didn't even talk about inflation, right? I mean, he talked about like the three big things that are kind of going on now, but I mean, he didn't talk about why inflation's destroyed their lives, why immigration's destroying lives. He's just talking about geopolitical stuff. And it's like, what do we need to be involved with that stuff for? Like, it's so funny. Like, this person who's in the 1% telling, like, the other 85% of the world, Americans, like, oh, you have no idea how the world works. Sir, you have no idea how a majority of the world works because you're not part of the people that gotta live day to day. It's not too often that you'll see people also shoot people, whether on accident or not, and kill them, and not really have to worry about a significant punishment.